Assalamu alaikum students. I'm Shiza Noor, your biology teacher, and I welcome you all to DPS online classes. Students, before starting our lecture, I would like to tell you the main learning objectives of today's lecture. By the end of this lesson, you all will be able to understand the term coordination and control. You will be able to describe the main types of coordination. You will be able to explain the main components of a coordinated action, that is stimuli, receptors, coordinators, effectors, and response. And you will also be able to differentiate between nervous and chemical coordination, which are the two main types of coordination. So let's start our topic, which is chapter number 12, Coordination and Control. The main contents of this chapter that we are going to discuss today are introduction to this chapter, the types of coordination, components of coordinated action, comparison of nervous and chemical coordination. So let's start our topic by the term coordination. So what is coordination? Coordination means to work in a system or in a team to perform a particular task or function. Tissues and organs in the bodies of multicellular organisms do not work independently of each other. There are different tissues in our body, like nervous tissue, muscular tissue, and many others. Similarly, there are different organs in the multicellular organisms, like stomach, lungs, kidney, etc. All these tissues and organs work independently of each other, which means they are coordinated to each other or they are linked to each other, and they perform their specific function by coordination. They work together, performing their many tasks as the needs of the whole body. Like stomach is responsible for digestion, kidney is responsible for excretion, lungs are responsible for respiration. And this means that these activities are coordinated. All these organs and tissues are coordinated to each other, and their functions are also coordinated to each other. Coordination also enables the organism to respond to happenings in the world around it, either they are external or internal. So whatever is happening around us, the seasonal changes and many other changes that we see and analyze, they're all due to coordination in our body. So we can define coordination as the systematic working of various organs of an organism to produce a proper response to a stimulus is called coordination, which means our organs and tissues are working in a system or in coordination to produce a proper response to the change that takes place in our body. And that change is called stimulus. This whole process is called coordination. For example, if we talk about a player who is running in a ground to catch a ball, the player runs and he uses hundreds of his muscles to move his arms, legs and back because he is running with whole his body. Not only his muscles are working, there are different other activities which take place in his body. Like his nervous system uses information from his sense organs and coordinating the muscles because he is able to see the ball and he will run in the direction of the ball by using the information of nervous system, and with that information he will coordinate his muscles. Now the muscles contract in the correct sequence, in the correct direction in which he is running, the power and the length of time, that how long it will take to reach the ball or to catch the ball. And at the same time his breathing and heartbeat rates are also increased because he is running very fast. At the same time, his blood pressure is also adjusted and extra heat is removed fast from the body, like sweat, because he is running in the ground. And you can see all his organs are working at the same time in coordination to each other. Students, coordination is very important in our body to perform different activities. Life activities are controlled and coordinated. That is, body works as one unit because different systems and organs are working at the same time and they are coordinated to each other. And that means our body is working as one unit in which different organs, different systems cooperate and they work in harmony with each other. That's why we can say our body work as one unit, for which coordination and control is very important. Now, what is control? The power of restraining and regulation by which something can be started, can be slowed down, or can be stopped. This is what control is. The coordination can only be performed when there is control within the coordination. To start an activity, to slow down the activity, or to stop the activity when it is needed. For example, when we write something, if I ask you to write the definition of coordination, your hands and fingers will work in collaboration with your muscles, your eyes because you're looking on the page, your thoughts because you're thinking in your mind that what is the correct definition of coordination, and then very intricate movements result because your thoughts, eyes, muscles are all working in coordination with each other. Now let's move toward the second important content of our topic, types of coordination. There are two main types of coordination in organisms. Number one, nervous coordination. Number two, chemical coordination. Now, what is nervous coordination? It is brought about by means of nervous system, which is one of the main organ system in our body. And it is the quickest way of communication by nerve impulse. Nerve impulse is actually the message which we send to our brain with the help of receptors. Now, what is chemical coordination? It is brought about by endocrine system, which releases specific chemicals to regulate the activities of cells within the body. In this case, some specific chemicals like hormones are involved in regulating the activities of your cells. And what is endocrine system? It consists of glands which secrete hormones that are used by body for different functions. Now, animals have both the nervous and chemical coordination systems in their body, while plants and other organisms, many other unicellular organisms, they have only chemical coordination, which means they will work with the help of endocrine system and different chemicals. Coordination also takes place in unicellular organisms like amoeba, paramecium, etc. The response to stimuli is brought about through chemicals. For example, amoeba is able to take the food from its environment when there is release of chemicals. And this movement in response to chemical is also called chemotaxis. Now we will see the main important components of a coordinated action. Number one, stimulus. Number two, receptor. Number three, coordinator. Number four, effector. And number five, response. These are the five main components of coordinated action. The five senses detect stimuli in the environment like our eyes, ears, nose. They are responsible for detecting the stimuli in the environment. And our coordination system tells the body how to respond to that change or to that stimuli. The body can coordinate quickly by sending a message, nerve impulse, which means nervous coordination, or by chemicals that build up and break down in bloodstream, which means hormones, or we can say chemical coordination. So both these type of coordination take place in animals, nervous coordination and chemical coordination. Students, now we will discuss about the main components of coordinated action, starting from number one, stimulus or stimuli. We can define stimuli as any change in environment, either it is external or internal, which can provoke a response in organism. Which means whenever there is a change in environment, an organism responds to that change. And that change in environment is called stimuli. You can say every action has a reaction. An organism respond or react to that action or change. For example, when we touch a snail, they withdraw very quickly into their shells, or they close their shells tightly, which means you are unable to catch them. This is the response of snail to the stimuli of touch. Similarly, the flowers of sunflower move towards the direction of sunlight, which means they grow towards the direction of sunlight, and that is the response of sunflower to the change of light or sunlight. So touch, heat, light, cold, pressure, sound waves, presence of chemicals, microbial infection, there are many other changes that take place in environment or that causes an organism to respond differently. So all these changes which take place in an environment are called stimuli or stimulus. Now the second important coordinated action component is receptors, which means the organs which will receive the stimuli from environment. Stimuli are detected by some special organs, tissues, cells of our body. For example, sound waves are detected by ears. Right now you are listening to this video with the help of your ears, and the sound waves are detected by your ears. Similarly, light is detected by eyes. You are also able to see this video with the help of your eyes, which are working as receptor in your body. Chemicals in air are detected by nose. For example, any fragrance or bad smell of chemical can be detected by your nose. Changes in temperature are detected by skin. So receptors can be defined as the organs, tissues or cells which are specifically built to detect particular type of stimuli. Only the particular type of stimuli, which means ears are only responsible to detect sound waves, eyes are only responsible to detect the light. So the organs, tissues or cells in our body receive the particular type of stimuli, and these receivers are called receptors or sensory receptors. Now, the third important component of coordinated action is coordinators. The coordinators can be defined as the organs that receive information from receptors and send messages to particular organs for proper action. So first of all, stimuli, any change in environment, will be received by some receptors or sensory receptors in our body. After that, there are some specific organs that receive information from receptor, and they start sending messages to particular organs like kidney, stomach, liver or any other organ to perform a particular action. For example, if we talk about nervous coordination, brain and spinal cord are the two main coordinators of nervous coordination. They receive messages through neurons. Neurons are the main unit of nervous system in the form of nerve impulse. Nerve impulse, you can say, the message that is received by neuron and then transferred to the brain or spinal cord. In case of chemical coordination, there are various endocrine glands that are present in your body. They work as coordinator. For example, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, adrenal glands and many others. They receive the information in the form of chemicals only, and they start sending messages by secreting the particular hormones in blood. So this is how coordinator works in our body, by receiving the messages and sending to the particular organs either by neurons or by chemicals. Now the fourth important component of coordinated action is effectors. So students, as we have studied that first of all, the change or stimuli is received by some sensory receptors which transferred the message to the coordinators, and now the coordinator have transferred the message to the effectors. Effectors can be defined as the parts of body which receive messages from coordinators and produce a particular response, which means these effectors are responsible to react or to produce a response. For example, if we talk about nervous coordination, neurons carry messages from brain and spinal cord. As you can see here, neurons are present in connection with brain and spinal cord, and they take the messages to muscles and glands, which are the effectors of nervous coordination, and they act as effectors by producing a particular response. Similarly, in case of chemical coordination, there are particular hormones which carry messages from coordinator. Endocrine glands are the coordinator, from which different hormones will carry messages to the particular target tissues, and these tissue act as effectors. You can see in this diagram that every hormone goes to the particular target tissue. For some hormones, nephron act as effectors. You have studied about nephron, which is the main functional unit of kidney. It can also act as effector. Similarly, bones and liver, they also act as effectors for many hormones. It means that nephron, which is responsible for the regulation of certain fluids in our body, is acting as an effector for some hormones, and same is the case with bones and liver. Hormones goes to the particular tissues, and these tissues act as effectors. Now the last important component of coordinated action is response. It can be defined as on receiving messages from coordinators, the effector performs action. The stimuli is first of all received by receptors, which transfer the message to coordinators, and then coordinator transfer the message to effectors, which performs action. This action is called response. For example, pulling our hand away from something very hot or very cold, this is called response. As you sense that it is something hot and dangerous for you, you quickly pull your hand away from it. This is the response to the stimuli of heat. Similarly, the movement of the flower of sunflower towards light are responses, response to the stimuli of light. Usually, nervous coordination produces immediate but short-living responses, while chemical coordination produces slow but long-living responses, because neurons take the message very quickly to the brain and spinal cord, whereas the hormones or any other chemical need a long time to process, to secrete, and then to produce a particular response. Also, the nervous coordination, which is carried out by neurons, will have short-living response. You just sense that something is hot or cold and you take away your hand. This is a very short-living response. But in case of chemical coordination, if a hormone is produced through an entire process, then hormone will have long-living responses till that process ends. So these are the 5 important components of coordinated action. Now we will discuss about the comparison of nervous and chemical coordination on the basis of some important features. As we know that nervous coordination consists of nervous system and chemical coordination consists of hormonal endocrine system. So we will see that how both these systems work oppositely to each other and what are the main differences between these type of coordination. If we talk about nervous system or nervous coordination, it is made up of neurons, which are the main unit of nervous system. While in endocrine or hormonal system, there are some secretory cells or hormones which undergoes the chemical coordination. If we talk about the form of transmission, in case of nervous coordination, some electrical impulses are involved, or we can say nerve impulse, which is actually the message which neurons carries to the brain or spinal cord. In case of chemical coordination, chemicals or hormones are involved in taking the message to the particular target tissue. Now, what is the transmission pathway in these both type of coordination? In case of nervous coordination, nerves fibers are involved in transmitting the message. While in case of endocrine or chemical coordination, blood plasma is the main transmitting pathway into which hormones are released. What is the speed of transmission in both these type of coordination? The nervous coordination will be very fast because the neurons are the quickest way of communicating the message, while the hormones are the slowest way of communicating the message. And if we talk about the duration of effect, the nervous system or the nervous coordination will produce a short-living or short-term response, while the hormonal or endocrine system will produce a long-term or long-living response. Now, what kind of response is produced by both these type of coordination? The nervous coordination will have a localized response on a particular place. In case of hormonal, it will have a wide spread, although there may be a specific target organ also, but it will be a wide spread response. In this picture, you can see the two different type of coordination, nervous coordination and chemical coordination. First of all, we will discuss about the nervous coordination. The stimuli or change is received by the receptor or sense organs, and this change is transferred to the brain or spinal cord with the help of neurons in the form of nerve impulse. Then coordinator transferred the message to the effectors, same in the form of nerve impulse with the help of neurons. Now these effectors, may be muscles or gland, will produce a particular response. This is called nervous coordination. In case of chemical coordination, the stimuli or change is received by the receptor or any body part, which transfer the messages in the form of chemicals with the help of blood. By releasing these chemicals into the blood, the blood carry these chemicals to the coordinators, which then secrete particular hormones for the targeted tissues, which are called effectors, for example bones, liver, nephron, etc. These effectors will produce an action which is called response. This type of coordination is called chemical coordination. So students, in this lecture we have studied about coordination and control, the two main types of coordination, nervous coordination and chemical coordination, and we have also studied about the 5 important components of coordinated action. Now we will assess our lecture with the help of some multiple choice questions. Number 1. Which type of coordination is found in plants? Chemical coordination, mechanical coordination, nervous coordination or electrical coordination? The correct answer is chemical coordination, which means with the help of chemicals and hormones. Number 2, action performed by effectors is stimulus, impulse, response or both A and B. The correct answer is response. Number 3, number of components of coordination process or coordinated action is 4, 7, 3 or 5. The correct answer is 5. Number 4, which one is coordinator in nervous coordination? Glands, brain and spinal cord, hormones or spinal cord? The correct answer is brain and spinal cord. Now we will discuss about some short question answers related to this topic. Number 1, define coordination. In this question you will write the definition of coordination which we have discussed in this lecture. Number 2, differentiate between nervous and chemical coordination. In this question you may write the table which we have studied above, and you can also draw the diagram of nervous and chemical coordination, the pathway of both these type of coordination. Number 3, name the 5 components of coordinated action. You will write about the 5 components, that is stimuli, receptor, coordinator, effector and response. Number 4, what is meant by receptors? Give example. You will write the definition of receptors and you will also give some examples of sense organs or sensory receptors. Number 5. What is the function or role of effectors in nervous coordination? You will write the main function or role of effector, which means they produce a particular response. You may also give some examples. Number 6. Differentiate between stimuli and response. You will write the definition or at least 3 differences between stimuli and response by giving some examples. Now we will discuss some long question answers related to this topic. Number 1. Describe the functions of coordinators and effectors. You will write about the main function, definition and the working of coordinators and effectors. So students, this was all about today's lecture. Thank you so much for watching this video. Best wishes for you all. Allah Hafiz.